Jews will not die. The majority of Jews will
Okay, this guy is like slurring his speech. I hope I'm not being like Arab phobic when I'm pointing out his accent, but like he doesn't seem like conscious to me. Like he's like a vegetable. I think he's drunk. Yeah. I think he did a drunk call-in. Like he actually sounds like a vegetable, dude.
not Zionists.
Yeah, okay.
And
What the
for
fuck?
thousands of years,
Like he even made some insane points that I don't think anyone sober would make, right? Like you have to be drunk to be saying some shit like this. Like, yeah. Dude, like when he said the point that like Shia discrimination was because of the West. What? I'm just like, how? What? You have to be like,
yes.
Okay.
Like back.
Well,
You have to be
you're about to walk into my
trolling
argument
or something,
by saying
I don't
that,
know,
but
like-
I mean, yeah, Jews were not
What?
Zionists for the majority of history. Okay, yeah, there was no Jewish
Vast
state.
majority.
Yeah,
Like, even back when they were the
I mean,
majority. in
that's
some
why I'm
way.
asking you. So one
Even
question
back-
at a time. Is it just by
that
total chance
the
then?
majority?
Is it just a total chance that Jews became Zionists then? It might as well have been Christians. It could have been Croats, right? Just that happens to have been Jews for some reason. Just
Like,
them that
all
were
the
like,
other-
they got bored one
Yes,
day and they were like, we're
it's
going to
a
go colonize.
nationalist movement. Yeah,
Croats?
this is a nationalist movement. Nationalist movements have happened.
Croats could have been Zionists, dude. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. That's the. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It just mean because that's like East Europe, Slavic state. Okay, okay. Croatia.
All
Yep.
over the world. Yes.
Why not Serbs? You're right.
Well, this is
Why
a
not?
nationalist movement.
So
Yeah,
there's no special reason that it might have been Jews that chose to go and do this. There's no
I'm saying-
special
I'm saying
reason
a
that
lot
there
of
might it was Jews in particular who made this decision.
Well, I'm saying it's historic reasons, like historical reasons. I'm not saying that, but that's not linked to Judaism. Like what like the Nazi, like what
Is
the
it not?
Nazis did.
Okay, so here's
No.
the next question. Yeah, you're right. Majority of Jews were not Zionists for most of like the last 500, 600, 700,000 years, right? However,
6,000
my
years,
next question would be, yeah, most Jews were integrationists. They were like, if we integrate and we take citizenship, we will be fine. We will not be persecuted anymore. If we become German, if we become French,
Yep.
we'll be good. Next question is,
Yep.
why did they change
Yep.
their minds?
A lot of them, not the major, not a lot of them changed their minds due to Nazism, but still.
Did they? Yeah,
due
okay,
to
but before
Okay, it wasn't just the Nazis, was it? It wasn't just the Nazis. Well, it's because every single country that they go to, people tend to discriminate against Jews, right? Just look at me. I'm pretty racist. I see a Jewish person on the street. Do you know what I do? I throw nickels at them, okay? I get out a handful of pennies and nickels, and I just start throwing it at a random curly-haired boy. All right? Whenever I see curly hair and big fat nose, I just get out I get out all my spare change, and I just like start tossing. I start tossing, that shit. I go to my local synagogue. Okay, I go to my local synagogue, and I would just like bring all the fucking change that I have, and then I just like start tossing money. And I go, fetch boy, go, whoo, whoo. Okay, chill, just chill. Okay, all right, I'm chill now. YouTube, don't ban me.
they were changing their minds before Nazism, right?
Yeah, and the rise of fascism in Europe. Yeah, overall rise of fascism in there.
And actually, even before that, like backlash against Jewish emancipation, because the Dreyfus Affair influenced a lot of people, right? Because they were like, oh, wait, so we've got very well integrated, very upper class, very patriotic person, Dreyfus, still gets subjected to the most gross display of anti-Semitism, like the most flagrant anti-Semitic attacks.
The communists over Europe, if only, because you can see how all the major communist figures were all against anti-Semitism. If only that happened.
Yeah, if only a Soviet Europe would have been devoid of
He's
anti-Semitism.
100% drunk. I can
Somehow
tell.
I'm not
He's
convinced.
super drunk, dude.
You should have seen Lenin's speech. You should.
Yeah.
Do you want me to send you the link?
Shops, you know they can know how much change you can have by the sound of your pockets.
Of Lenin's speech
Oh,
on
yeah, sorry,
anti-Semitism.
Lenin was not the one who was in charge at the point when the Jews were running away from Eastern Europe, was he?
No, no, but like he's the founder of the Rosa Luxemburg. All of these guys are all of these.
Oh, is he going to bring up the one quote that Lenin had about how the Jews are not the enemy but the bourgeoisie? Ooh, yikes. Well, maybe because, well, I'm not even sure what that is supposed to prove because, you know, the USSR is totally not notorious for treating Jews badly, right? Hold on, let me take a look.
These guys are not anti-Semites, like all of the major communists.
Well, a
like,
lot of
all
early
like,
ones actually were Jewish as well, like Trotsky and people like that. Yeah, but that's not, obviously that's not the Soviet Union we ended up with, was it?
Marx. Yeah, I'm not a Trotsky guy, obviously.
Obviously.
Anyway, yeah, obviously.
However, the previous legacy of anti-Semitism was continued and furthered by the Soviet state, especially under Joseph Stalin. After 1948, anti-Semitism reached new heights in the Soviet Union, especially during the anti-cosmopolitan campaign, in which numerous Yiddish-writing poets, writers, painters, and sculptors were arrested or killed. This campaign culminated in the so-called doctor's plot, in which a group of doctors, almost all of whom were Jewish, were subjected to a show trial for supposedly having plotted to assassinate Stalin. Although repression eased after Stalin's death, persecution of Jews would continue until the late 1980s. Okay, so literally the entire Soviet Union until the end. I got you.
Trotsky. I'm saying Marxists were like the least anti-Semitic group. But anyway, I don't know why like the least anti-Semitic.
Well,
thing,
I mean,
and,
this might be a difficult thing for you to digest, but unfortunately, it seems like the Americans were the ones that were best at integrating their Jewish refugees. That's where most Jews were like, this is one place where we can actually feel at home. But you know.
Huh? No, once, first of all,
Okay, hold on. Did you just mention how glorious and integrated the United States of America is? Every single time somebody brings that up, we need to bring this part up, okay?
You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese.
That's right.
But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American.
Look, just ignore Elon Musk there, okay? We don't listen. I don't know why this edit has Elon Musk. Just look, just ignore him there, okay? It's fine. Fucking let's go, dude. Every single time somebody mentions that, I'm gonna bring that edit up, okay? Every single time somebody mentions how great America is, I'm gonna bring that edit up. That's what I'm gonna do now.
First of all, during the Russian Civil War, the Bolsheviks condemned any pogroms, and no, I don't. The Bolsheviks commit any pogroms? No, I don't think they did. It's all like the Ukrainian Nazis, and like I don't know why Ukrainian's just been a Nazi hotspot for a lot of.
What countries do you not want to become Americans? Just top 3. Well, let's see. China. I'm kidding. Okay.
Not really. Well, I mean, even in World War II, what percentage of Ukrainians were alongside Bandera and the Nazis? How many?
I don't know why, but like Ukraine has always had like this nationalist presence. I don't know nationalist.
Well, when we're talking about just nationalists, we're talking about Nazi. You can be a nationalist without being a Nazi. In World War II, it was like in World War II, I think the number of Ukrainians who went alongside the Nazis was like less than 1%. How many were in the Red Army? 7 million.
I'm saying why,
it's like Ukrainians mostly for the most part made their choice. And it was to go against Nazis.
Gramsci, how do you say? He's an Italian Marxist, a very fat. famous one. He was against anti-Semitism. So I'm just saying. And you know Churchill, the famous liberal. He was pretty anti-Semitic. He thought like the Bolsheviks, or like communism was like a Jewish conspiracy, brought into like elders of Zion, stuff like that. So I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
not a big fan of
communists.
Churchill and his opinions on Jews. So I'm just trying to get you back to the original question.
Oh yes, sorry. I don't
We
know.
can talk
Yeah,
about
the
Soviet
Jewish
Union another time.
question.
Okay, that's a whole different conversation
Yeah.
and how anti-Semitic they were or were not. Again, why did Jews change their minds and become Zionists?
Because of oppression, oppression in Europe, rising oppression in Europe.
Is this guy okay? Like, dude, I can't figure out what's going on here with this guy. Like, he's really going through it, isn't he? Like, what? Yes. Hopefully he's he does not sound well. Okay.
Yeah, in particular because modern nationalism excluded them. Like they became a scapegoat for modern nationalist movements.
Yep. Yeah, another nationalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I'm like that. There is a connection here between being Jewish and being motivated to become a
wants to suck
Zionist. The
Hasan's
Jews didn't do that
baby.
themselves.
Ew.
The rest of the world did that to
I'm saying
them.
this not because
Gross.
of Judaism. Yeah, I'm not saying, but then you're saying that like Jews are inherently oppressed, that like they inherently everywhere going to get oppressed. No, I don't.
No, they're
think
not.
that
I mean, it's just that for up until at least the founding of the state of Israel, it seemed quite inevitable that a lot of them were going to get oppressed. Yes, and enough of them to go and to decide that they wanted their own state.
Okay, we're talking about now. No,
we're not talking about now. We're talking about why half of the world's Jews ended up in Israel. That's what we're talking about. Why they became Zionists.
Well, I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about like why people. I would understand being a Zionist back in the 1950s, 1940s much more than being a Zionist now.
Yeah, I
We're
was on
talking
TikTok
about.
and saw
what I
Hasan
wanna talk about
comment.
now.
Oh,
Now,
my
most Jews are
condolences.
safe in most countries. In most countries, they're safe. In Europe, in basically the whole of Europe, they're safe. In the whole of in all of the North Americas, America and Canada, they're safe. Okay, and there's been there's been obviously yeah they're safe and they live pretty good lives. They have in America they do, in Canada they live a good life, in Australia they're safe. They're safe and they're good. Even in Iran there's 10,000 Jews.
The number reduces like every 5 years, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's 10,000
they have to
Jews.
also kind of like.
A lot of,
do you think if any of them get caught expressing sympathy for Zionism, they'd be okay, or for Israel?
well, that's not obviously for if they express sympathy for Israel, they'll be in trouble. But that's not related.
Yeah.
To
So the thing I'm getting at with you is that
there was a Baha'i
in Iran that
Okay.
expressed if there was a Muslim in Iran who expressed sympathy for Zionism, they would get in trouble as well. So it's nothing related to do with them being Jewish. It's related to it's in Iran at least.
You don't think there's extra pressure on Jews in Iran to hold up a certain front to avoid saying and suggesting certain things?
Yeah,
there's a reason their numbers are still dropping.
yeah, but slowly. Slowly. They are dropping, but not like drastically. Yeah, I'm saying
Okay.
they're probably encouraged not to speak good of Israel, obviously, because Israel and Iran are enemies.
I mean, from what
Everyone's
I've read, it seems to be that they also, and from what I've heard from like a couple of like diaspora, just anecdotes, but it seems like they actually also have to kind of put like a sort of diaspora Iranian Jews.
The diaspora Iranians are some of like the most like cringiest.
I mean, just to be clear, most Iranians feel this way about the regime as well, right? Like
no, but Iranians, I know, but they're not like the diaspora. Like Iranians in Iran are much more sensible. Like some diaspora Jews are saying, like diaspora Iranians are saying nuke Tehran. Yes, there's a very big difference in.
I don't know how many of them are saying nuke Tehran. They probably want the nuclear weapons to be gone, but
I'm saying they're more radical than Iranians inside Iran. Like they're more radical than Iranians inside of Iran. You would agree with that, right?
Diaspora probably. I don't know. I don't know what the opinions are generally of Iranians in the country. No, I don't know. I don't know what they want. I know that they oppose the regime because they are protesting every other fucking year, and I know that I know the regime doesn't represent them in the slightest.
No.
What?
Oh yeah, I don't know if there's any. Are there any big protests like after the Masa Amini stuff died down?
I don't know. It's usually every couple or 2 or 3 years that they have uprisings. I know. Also, it's hard to gauge if their opinions would be the same as the diaspora because diaspora can speak freely and the ones in Iran can't. So it's going to be if they're feeling as unhinged about the government as diaspora people are, we wouldn't know about it because they wouldn't say that.
Okay, I fuck. I don't know most of the topics, so I can't comment on anything. Okay, what else is there? Hezbollah failed. Okay, I don't care about Hezbollah. I don't care about. Okay, so here is probably the only part that I care about. It's the only 2 parts that I care about. Okay. Calling Zionists neo-Nazis is anti-Semitic. Okay.
Calling Zionists neo-Nazis is anti-Semitic. It's literally comparing a movement of a response to persecution and a movement of... It's comparing a movement of refuge to a fucking country that tried to conquer half of the fucking world because they felt like they were superior and deserving of it. And we're literally willing to starve out, to have starvation and expulsion quotas for each of these countries, right? These are not the same thing.
Let me answer. They're both nationalist movements. They're both.
Don't care. Palestine's a nationalist movement. Shit. Next.
And we see what Zionism is now. It's turning even more ultra nationalist with the likes of Ben-Gvir and the Israeli right gaining more power.
Do you think Arab nationalism is not? Do you think Arab nationalism does not cross into ultra nationalism?
I'm talking about Zionism now. No, not like Ben-Gvir. No, depends on like the level of nationalism. I'm saying it's a right-wing movement. You can agree that Zionism is a right-wing movement?
No.
Yes, it is a right-wing movement.
I'll probably say it's a right-wing movement, but it's a right-wing movement that's justified, probably. I'll probably say something like that, yeah. Like, in my opinion, the label here doesn't really matter. Like, again, I remember when Queeman and Lonerbox debated this point, where what was being said here? What was being said here is that ethnostate fascist-like, right? Since Israel is a fascist state, is not a fascist state. Since Israel is a Zionism, right wing, whatever, and Zionism is a fascist. Not fuck. Oh, I meant to say ethnostates are fascist. So if Israel is an ethnostate and ethnostates are fascist, doesn't that mean Israel is based on fascist ideology? And I'm pretty sure you can argue that it's justified because of the specific oppression that Jews face in the world. And that is why. Yeah, I'm pretty... Okay, that's what I said. Okay, fuck. Okay.
Why did you use Ben-Gvir? Ben-Gvir represents a minority. I think, how many votes does this party get? Like less than 10%? Like 5%? Yeah, Ben-Gvir does not represent most of Israel. Like what?
Everybody in Europe considered Zionism to be a right-wing movement.
I don't care what everyone in Europe thinks. People outside of this region are fucking idiots. I don't care what they think. Why is Zionism inherently right-wing?
Because it's a nationalist movement.
So Palestine's inherently right-wing because it's a nationalist movement. So being a nationalist movement, you don't care about...
No. It's a nationalist movement. It's a colonial movement. It's a colonial nationalist movement. Yeah, settler colonial. Yeah, that's why. So it's a settler colonial.
What is he saying anymore?
So even when they were... So was it a right-wing movement back when they were buying up swamps and draining them and farming the land? Was that...
And kicking out the people.
No, I'm talking about 1880s up until like 1920. Was that right wing? When they were buying empty land, when they were buying swamps and draining them and getting rid of fucking malaria and farming the land. Was that part? Were those ones right wingers?
Well, yeah, that's on the intention of them colonizing the place. So yes, from the 1880s they have heard to wanted to colonize the place. Yes.
So even if they opposed evictions.
Yeah, and they aren't even that... I mean, Israel is barely elected. It's just Israel isn't that much of it. I mean, you can argue it's ethno state by ideology, but like, doesn't it have like several Palestinians, like at least 5? True. I don't know why I dislike Dude's voice. Is he a content creator, not Lonerbox? It was because he has an Arab accent, and you probably just really hate Arabic people. I'm kidding.
But wanted to have a state there that would have still been
No,
right
here
wing to
Yapper
you.
still yapping. I'm a bit tired now, but yes, I'm
Yeah,
still
no,
yapping.
no, if they